Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shane. I'm back with another video related to Camp 14, the most
Class
horrible
is about
place
to
in
start
North
for
Korea.
these 40 school kids.
Okay.
Like every week, the teacher starts searching everyone's pockets. This time, he finds something. On a little girl. 5 kernels of grain.
Huh?
The teacher
What the
snaps
fuck is
and
that?
commands the girl to come up front.
Oh no.
She has to kneel down on the hard concrete floor.
Damn.
With a wooden stick, he strikes her on the head.
Damn.
Again, and again, and again, and again.
That is crazy.
Her classmates watch in silence. The beating
Like, what
goes
the
on
hell?
until the little girl collapses.
But that's
Afterwards,
no
her classmates carry her
fucking way,
home.
bro.
The same night, she dies.
Oh my god.
The little girl and the other 39 children are all inmates in one of North Korea's deadliest
Nah,
prison
that's
camps,
crazy.
Camp 14.
Comparisons have been drawn to the Nazi death camps, to the Soviet
I mean,
Gulag.
obviously.
You know, they're accurate, and in their own way, they're different.
A lawless detention facility hidden in the mountains of Kaeshan,
Damn.
a place where people are imprisoned for the crimes of their parents. Once you end up here, you will
Yo,
most likely
man.
die here.
This is truly a space that is outside humanity.
That
Let me
doesn't
say
make any
that.
sense. What do you mean?
Prisoners
You're
are
being
forced to
prisoned?
work under inhumane conditions. The smallest mistake can cost them their lives. Escape is almost impossible. Only a handful make it out,
Fuck?
risking everything on deadly
Yo,
roads.
comment down below if y'all
In North
think
Korea,
y'all
there are
could
several of
escape
these
this
death
bitch
camps,
and make
the
it out
regime has
alive,
kept
bro.
them a secret
Real
for
niggas.
decades.
Real niggas, man. Let me see in the comment section.
But through the relentless work of human rights organizations, satellite
Heard you.
imagery, and reports from survivors, we can have a glimpse at these facilities.
Oh,
Why are
word?
people being sent to Camp 14?
No,
What does
no,
daily
nigga.
life look like inside its walls? What horrors do the inmates face? And how do
Yeah.
people
Nah,
actually
this
get
is-
out?
Nah, those are good ass
This is
questions.
the
I ain't
story
gonna lie.
of the most horrific prison
This
camp
is why I
in North
follow
Korea.
Fern videos, bro. My dog be giving good ass topics, bro. That shit is crazy. Go ahead,
This
the
story
fuck.
is based on Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Hardin.
Damn.
One former prisoner of Camp 14 later changed parts of his story. Every time you see this symbol, it marks those revisions.
Oh,
If you want to know
okay.
more about the exact changes and the reasons behind them, we recommend reading this article.
Oh,
Since North
oh.
Korea denies the existence of these camps, independent
Damn.
verification
Of course they
is
do.
not possible.
of course.
Shin Dong-hyuk is just a young boy when he witnesses the little girl being punished for having food in her pocket.
But
Shin
you
has no
can't
doubt
have
she deserved
food,
it.
man.
After all, she stole food. And at Camp 14, stealing means death.
How you
He doesn't
doing?
question it. He knows nothing else. The camp rules are his reality. Shin was born in Camp 14, but his parents didn't fall in love.
Yeah,
They were assigned to each
something.
other by prison guards. Intimacy between men and women is strictly forbidden. If a woman becomes pregnant without permission, both she and the baby are shot.
That's
In
crazy.
Camp 14, there is only one way to have a child: promotion.
What time of your
Those who work hard and, more importantly,
That
snitch on
impressive?
others may be granted a reward marriage.
It's gonna be 12.
This is how Shin Dong-hyuk and his older brother Shin Hee-gyun come into the world. But they don't grow up as a real family. Their mother never talks about the past. Shin has no clue why his parents were imprisoned, and it probably wouldn't
No,
matter
it
anyway.
was no. The
It's
interview was at
almost
1.
suspicion.
You know, like 1:30.
You
That was
don't
a few
have
minutes
to be
ago.
an anti-regime
Yeah, a
character.
few minutes ago.
But if you're suspected
But
of being
I just got done with that. So,
of being a
but
wrongdoer, a wrong
the hiring manager
thinker,
called me
of having
and he
engaged
scheduled my
in
in-person
wrong
for Monday
associations, they will
at
send you to
12.
the camp.
This is Greg Scarlatoiu. He's president and CEO of HRNK, the Washington-based Committee on Human Rights in
Yeah, I
North
know.
Korea. For years, Greg and his team have been investigating human rights abuses at these camps. Like many others, Shin will most likely stay in Camp 14 for the rest of his life, even though he never committed a crime. This is the house Shin and his mother live in. Along with his mother's promotion came slightly better housing. They share it with 3 other families and sleep on the floor. There is a single light bulb in the kitchen. Electricity works for just 2 hours a day. There's no running water, no furniture, no shower, and barely enough food to survive. The building is part of a model village, one of many. Camp 14 is estimated to cover around 153 square kilometers, almost 3 times the size of Manhattan. It is secured by a 60-kilometer fence, patrol paths, barracks, guard posts, and checkpoints. The whole area stretches from river valleys to mountain peaks. The wilderness and the Taedong River act as a natural barrier, an immense obstacle course separating the facility from the outside world.
What's going
Little
on?
villages are scattered across the vast area, containing housing and working units.
These are sprawling
This shit
facilities.
is
They're very
That
large
shit sounds
facilities.
so inhumane.
So at some of these facilities, you
fuck
see
is going on?
farming, agriculture going on. You see some of these facilities that are adjacent to coal mines or other types of mineral exploitation.
Researching and animating topics like these take a lot of time.
Exploitation?
We worked for months on just this video with the help of more than a dozen people. And this wouldn't be possible without our sponsor, Brilliant.
Yeah, we know,
Brilliant
man.
is an interactive learning app,
Single,
and the
single
best way to
Fern
become
love
smarter
from
and quicker.
Brilliant.
They provide thousands of lessons in math,
He love him
science,
some
data
Brilliant
analysis,
game.
AI, programming, and more. You can pick up lessons anytime you want on your phone or computer. This makes learning a part of your everyday life. We really like Brilliant's scientific thinking course. It develops your scientific intuition by exploring the basic principles of physics through playful and interactive puzzles, helping you think like an engineer and see the world in a new way. It's hands-on, efficient, and easy to grasp. To start learning for free, go to brilliant.org/fern, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description. Get a 20% discount on annual premium subscriptions, which gives you unlimited access to everything Brilliant offers.
Take a look, Brilliant.
The camp has its own railroad network and generates its own electricity.
Thank you.
And it also
Fern.
has a school. This is where
Enough
Shin
with
goes
the
every
Brilliant,
day.
bro.
His teacher wears a guard's uniform, carries a weapon,
Damn.
and teaches obedience above all else.
Teacher?
Camp rules are brutal.
That's the teacher?
There are 10 of them. Even the smallest violation can lead to execution. Shin memorizes them all.
Oh,
Rule
shut
1.
him?
Any witness to an attempted escape who fails to report it will be shot immediately.
Damn.
Rule 3. Anyone who steals or conceals any foodstuffs will be shot immediately.
Damn.
Rule 5. Anyone who holds or hides a fugitive's possessions, conspires with him, or fails to report him will be shot immediately. The guards enforce the rules without mercy.
Oh my god, damn.
Across North Korea, there are different types of detention facilities. The worst of them are called Kwanliso. Camp 14 is one of them. It's also called a total control zone.
People never get out of those. You know, they just waste away. They get killed by this vicious cycle of malnutrition and forced labor.
Shin's mother has to work the rice fields, 10 to 15 hours of hard labor every day. If she meets her quota, she receives food, just enough to survive the night and make it through the next day.
North Korea is all about production targets. If you don't meet them, and probably you will not meet them, you'll get less food, more work, less food, more work, and that's how you waste away and die. That's, you know, the truly tragic story at these camps.
From the moment Shin starts school, his life is split between the classroom and hard labor in the coal mine. Long work days are made worse by a constant gnawing hunger. Before school, Shin often eats his mother's portion while she's still out in the fields. She beats him for it, but he does it anyway. To him, she's not a source of love or care. She's a rival in the fight for every meager scrap of food. This is Shin's meal, served 3 times a day for his entire prison life. If he makes a mistake, his portion is cut in half as punishment. Sometimes he and the other inmates catch rats, the only source of meat in Camp 14. For Shin, this isn't as much as a nightmare. It's normal life. He has never seen the world beyond the barbed wire.
Normal life? That's crazy.
Unlike this man. Kim Young is in his mid-40s when he's brought to Camp 14. He knows the world outside very well. In fact, he was a high-ranking military officer and vice president of a state-owned company. In his former life, he enjoyed culture, a chauffeur, and all the benefits of being a government employee. Now he's also forced to work in the coal mines. Kim didn't break any laws to get here. His parents did. In North Korea, this form of collective punishment is called yunjoje, guilt by association.
Damn.
Up to 3 generations can be punished for crimes of family members.
Up to 3
When Kim was a child, his father and brother were accused of spying for the United States,
Yo, bro.
enough to execute them. After that, Kim was brought to an orphanage under a name. It took more than 40 years until someone found out about his true heritage. Even Kim himself wasn't aware of the supposed crimes his family allegedly committed.
There's absolutely no judicial process. This is extrajudicial punishment. They'll just, take you away in the middle of the night together with your family members. You just disappear. That's how it goes.
Fear is the most powerful tool for prison guards to keep inmates in line. During Kim's time in Camp 14, a total of 25 inmates are executed.
Damn.
One day, he witnesses a fellow prisoner being killed for collecting chestnuts that had fallen from a tree. Kim spends most of his days underground. Hours and hours of endless work with no sunlight and no mercy. Kim struggles. He's never faced labor like this before. Mistakes are inevitable, and every one of them is met with the punishment of a guard who never leaves his side. One day, a guard strikes Kim with the butt of his gun till he falls unconscious. For the next 2 days, he only receives half his meals. After more than 2 months of living like this in Camp 14, Kim decides to end it. Following a long day of work, he steps into the elevator of a mining shaft. The metal cage ascends until it reaches a height of around 2,000 feet. He pulls the safety pin, and the elevator falls.
What the fuck?
But Kim survives, and the vicious cycle goes on.
Damn.
When Shin is about 6 or 7, the camp's borders shift. His village is merged into the neighboring Camp 18, just across the river. It's said to be slightly less brutal than Camp 14, but for Shin, life hardly changes at all. Shin is 15 and has moved out from his mother's home. He now lives with his father. One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother, Shin Hee-gyun. The 21-year-old works at the prison cement factory, a couple of miles away. Shin doesn't like him at all. In the middle of the night, Shin wakes up from his sleep. He hears voices from the kitchen. His brother is talking about escape. His mother seems to support him. Shin's first instinct, he has to report this. He goes to a nearby dorm room and wakes a friend to ask for advice. The friend urges Shin to tell the guards. They go to the school's night guard on duty and report the escape plot. Shin also signs a false police statement, claiming he saw his mother and brother commit murder. This piece of evidence ultimately leads to an execution order.
What?
The guards take...
This nigga is a criminal. This nigga's a...
Min Young
bro, he's a menace.
Takes Shin to an execution site next to the Taedong River. A crowd has gathered to watch. They drag out his mother and his brother. They're killed in front of Shin's eyes.
He is a menace. Nigga watched it. What? What the
In 1996, Kim Young is transferred to Camp 18. To him, this place feels like heaven. The labor conditions are slightly better, and to his surprise, he reunites with his 70-year-old mother, who is also a prisoner here. But the violence and abuse don't stop. One day, he has to witness how guards beat up his mother and force her to do manual labor. His mother is certain they will both die in the camp. Even though it means risking his life, she urges Kim to leave her behind and escape. Escaping from a North Korean death camp is almost impossible.
Damn.
These
That
highly protected
I mean,
facilities. You're
actually,
talking
I feel like that makes
barbed
sense.
wire, walls, armed
That
guards,
makes a lot of
intersecting lines of fire.
A lot of sense.
Talking machine guns,
sense.
very, very
lot
difficult
of
to
sense.
escape. And it's, difficult to escape a detention facility in any civilized country, imagine North Korea.
Kim Young quietly studies his surroundings. He observes, waits, and starts thinking. He lays out multiple escape plans, but none of them seem doable to him. Another hard day of work. The prisoners are loading coal onto a train. Suddenly, they spot something. Grain scattered across the bottom of a train car. It must have transported food before. The scene explodes into chaos. Prisoners drop everything, desperately looking for the tiniest speck of food. The guards start shouting, but no one listens. Kim discovers a narrow space beneath the middle panel in the floor of a coal wagon. He squeezes inside, and as the train rumbles out of Camp 18, he rides with it. Hours later, the train reaches Go-On Station at around 4 a.m. We don't know exactly how, but Kim manages to crawl out of his hideout and disappears into the night. Kim successfully escaped Camp 18,
Damn.
but his path to freedom is still very long. After finding a worker's uniform, he changes clothes and starts a treacherous journey that will take him many months through China and Mongolia to South Korea, where he'll eventually seek asylum. Escaping a prison is one thing. Escaping the country is another. We made a whole video on how to escape North Korea. Link is in the description. Shin also manages to escape from Camp 18 twice, both times by crawling under a fence. Both times he's recaptured. After his second attempt, Shin is sent back to Camp 14 and is thrown into a special detention center, a place with only one purpose: torture. After 4 weeks of torture, he's thrown into a pitch-black cell. No windows and barely enough space to lie down. There he'll spend the next 6 months. After his release, Shin is thrown back to the general prison population. He has to work in the coal mine, the farm fields, and eventually in a garment factory. This is where he meets Park Young-chul, a man unlike anyone Shin has ever seen. Born into an elite family, Park once held a prestigious job and had seen the world beyond North Korea's borders. By then, Shin already knows he's on the execution list. With Park at his side, he begins planning what will be Shin's third and final escape. Shin and Park are assigned to do some woodwork up in the mountains, along with some prisoners. They're chopping wood near the outer fence. The camp's fence is around 10 feet high and lined with high-voltage barbed wire. The next guard tower is a quarter of a mile away. Shin watches the patrols. There are long gaps between them where no guard is close enough to spot the two. The plan is simple. Wait until dusk so that their footprints can't easily be traced in the snow. They slip through the high-voltage wires without touching them. As the sun sets, Shin and Park move closer to the fence. They hack branches, pretending to stack wood. Nobody notices them. Park hesitates. Shin's heart races. He grabs Park's hand and they run. Shin slips. Park reaches the fence before him. He tries to squeeze his head between the two lowest wires and hits one of them. Park's body is not moving. The bottom wire bends under his weight, creating a narrow gap. Shin crawls over Park's body. He is almost past the fence when his legs slip, hitting one of the wires. The voltage tears through him. His pants char. His skin burns from ankle to knee.
Oh my god.
But somehow he makes it through. Park's body lies dead on the fence. Shin runs without looking back for 2 hours straight until he realizes that he made it.
Oh my god.
He manages to cross the river to China, and after a journey of almost 2 years, he finally reaches South Korea.
Jeez.
These are all the prison camps that are most likely active in North Korea today.
Crazy.
According to Greg Scarlatoiu, the camps are changing, and not for the better.
Of course not.
Camps near the border have reportedly been moved further inland, likely to make escape even harder. And some new internal perimeters have appeared, possibly to isolate high-value prisoners.
The third development, in terms of infrastructure, evolution and development, has been the creation of watchtowers and what appears to be intersecting lines of fire around the camps. They would be meant to basically exterminate those who attempt to leave those camps.
Oh wow.
For some camps, evidence is even scarcer.
There's one camp that we know very little about, and that's Camp 16. That's very close to the Punggye nuclear testing facility. And I've spoken with the South Korean nuclear scientists who said, look, we don't believe that prisoners are used in digging those tunnels for the nuclear tests, but it is very likely that they will be, used and abused while cleaning up after those nuclear tests.
The HRNK estimates that up to 120,000 people are currently held in North Korean prison camps. In fact, as a viewer of this video, you might know more about them than most North Koreans ever will.
We have to remember that these people are being tortured and maimed today. They were tortured and maimed yesterday, and the same will happen tomorrow. So, I think it's a matter of moral, ethical, religious, and political obligation to continue to maintain our interest in these issues.
This is Shin today. He gradually adjusted to a life in society, and became a
You
public
guys
speaker
wanna-
and advocate for human rights in North Korea.
Oh, shit.
In 2015, Shin Dong-hyuk retracted parts of his story and admitted to changing certain key details in Escape from Camp
Hey
14.
man, you did it,
The
bro.
book's author published a detailed statement outlining every change Shin had
But
made.
if you guys
According
wanna
to
see
Shin, some memories were
more
simply too painful and others too shameful to share truthfully at the
let me
time.
know what to react
This
to in
is
the
a common
comments
reaction
down
for
below.
victims of torture, who often cope by
And,
suppressing or distorting their accounts of what really
You
happened.
guys will catch
Greg
me
Scarlatoiu
on
and
the
others
next
believe
video.
Shin's changes don't alter the
But
fundamental
this
truth
video
of
is
his
not over
reports.
yet, so
Was Shin Dong-hyuk a political
Uh-huh.
prisoner? Yes, 100%. Okay, he spent some time both at Camp 14 and Camp 18, right across the river. Did he witness the execution of his mother and brother? Yes, he did.
that was crazy.
So the fundamental elements of Shin
Yo,
Dong-hyuk's story
he's wildin'.
did not change.
He's wildin'.
Shin bears the scars, physical and psychological. They leave little doubt about the abuse and torture he endured.
That is crazy.